Hi, my name is Lisa Hazard, and this is my podcast, We're All Psychic. So, you might have heard my trailer. I think I made it a couple weeks ago, and it was about a minute long, and I just said a bunch of stuff. So, now for my first podcast, actually, officially, my first podcast, other than the trailer, I would like to talk about who I am and why I'm doing this podcast. I am 44 in 2019. It is August 6th, and I have gone by many names. But let's see. The best way to explain who I am in a sentence or two is, well, I guess I should make it in reference to why I'm doing the podcast, because that might help you out. I am a person who's been through a lot of changes like we all have. I'm a person who's tried to figure stuff out like we all have, and I want to connect with people. And I think we all do. And I think we all actually do it all the time in many ways that aren't really expressed or put into our language or used in everyday terminology. So, what do I mean by everyday terminology? Well, as I've gone through my life, I have learned and actively pursued the magic in the world, and to me, that was a lot of different words, and there are not enough, once you really dig into this place, and you probably already have if this even caught your attention in the beginning. But I believe there should be a new dictionary written. Maybe somebody will make a website with a new dictionary, or maybe some of my guests would love to help me create some more descriptive or accurate or made up words that describe some of the stuff we'll be discussing in this podcast. So I work 3 jobs. I work as a psychic reader. I am a sterling silver, mainly natural gemstone jeweler. I silversmith. I do make some gold. I love my rocks. I love all kinds of rocks. I got tons of rocks and gems. And that's why I got into making any kind of jewelry. And I'm also a writer. I have written several novels, and I've ghostwritten several novels. Oh, I love ghostwriting. I love it. And I actually have stopped doing that in the last year. That is a summary of the 3 jobs I have right now, and I do a lot of stuff for fun, but I think my jobs are fun too. Yeah, it's really fun to actively pursue fun. So that's why I do it. I'm actually a professional hobbyist, I guess you could say. When I was a kid, I was very imaginative. I lived in my own world. I did believe I was a cat. I knew I really wasn't, but man, I wanted to be so bad. And then when I was about 15, my mom got me some Time Life books. She could tell I loved the weird stuff, the interesting stuff, the mysteries, and she does too. And like I said, does because she still does. Who doesn't love the mysteries? And we talked about a lot of stuff like that when I was younger, just curiosity. And the thing is my whole family, we were all more scientific minded. Well, we loved our ghost stories. We loved Irish myths and superstitions, and so she got me these Time Life books, and it was a series called I can't remember, but I have them all now, I think. There was one on divination, and I was very interested in that. I think it was called Psychic Powers, and they had one. Oh, they had little self-tests, you'd love those. And they had the cards with the squiggly lines and the circles and the triangles on one page, and on the back of the page were the actual squiggly lines and triangles and circles. And so you turn to page 56, and there's the blah, 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 blank sides. And you guess, and I'm so trying to get it right the first time, got like maybe 1. And the second time, I was pretty embarrassed because I still only got about 2, and I just saw them. So that was little, I was man, I thought for sure I'd get that. Later into the book, I found the section on palmistry, and that just, I loved it. It just really got my imagination going. And from there, I started memorizing and practicing and looking at my hands and relating to what I was reading and looking at my family members' hands, my friends' hands, and just building memory, like just structuring this roadmap we have on our palms into a lexicon of my own that I understood, even though it wasn't something I would say I believed, because that wouldn't be something I would say I believed. I would just be like, wow, that's something that I think is cool. And at that age, I would just think about it sometimes and really get sucked into it. And I did all through my life. But later on, I took it more seriously in a different way. I'll fast forward some and I'll try to speed it up so you can get into the meat of why you're listening to the podcast. We're all psychic. And whatever that reason may be, I don't know. But fast forwarding, I had my first spirit contact at 17. And then I had a spirit guide come when I was 23. When I was 27, I began studying the tarot with the Osho Zen deck as my first deck as a gift from my friend Tori. And that came from Roxanne. I had nobody like that deck. They all said it was too positive, but I could understand it because I was a word person and they had words on them, and that worked very well for me. But I could never get a good reading for myself. I always could do them for other people, and it took a lot of practice and time. And then when I was in my maybe mid-30s, I got a job working as a psychic professionally, and I did tarot readings and medium readings, and I've carried on with that, but not in phone work, mainly locally, and I study it constantly. I love immersing myself in it. It's like being in a world of magic, but that's not just the tarot. It's the whole pack and parcel of whatever interest I have at the moment that is something that is about working with, I guess the broad term would be energy. Over the last few years, my favorite part of all the magic stuff, or the psychic stuff, or the mystical energy working stuff, is connecting with other people experiencing these things and learning how different people experience different things, and some of those things are very much the same. And we try to find words, and when we connect, it's just like, yeah, you get it. But there's more and more people who are like this that I'm meeting. I don't think it's one of those I'm manifesting them into my life things. I think it's actually that more people have an interest in this energy, this way about us, that we communicate, that we perceive, that we sense things, that isn't language, isn't one of the traditional senses that we, taste, smell, hearing, and seeing, and feeling. So a lot of the people I'll have as guests on this podcast, they have very happy to me, for me, I mean, they have said they would like to be guests, so that's just excellent. We'll see what happens then. So the kinds of things we'll be talking about are, well, I really want to start off with empathy and being an empath. For example, if you don't know, an empath is somebody who feels other people's emotions as though they are their own. And empathy is the same thing. You experience someone else's experiences as they tell them, and or as you see them happening to them, and you feel it, oh, you feel it, oh, you feel it. But being an empath is someone, I guess you could say, who acknowledges this side of themselves and really works with it. Some people say it's hell. Some people say, oh, yeah, I got it down. Oh, no, no, no. 2 years later, I'm falling apart. I mean, there's a lot of stories about being an empath. But, I believe, and this is getting to the root of why I'm liking to do this podcast, is that we all feel this way. We all experience life this way. We can go down the roads of how, and maybe science, excuses and rationalities and reasons, I guess. Yeah, we can call them whatever we want. But I guess there's not rules to a rule book that hasn't been written. Yeah, we'll go with that. What's really cool is that I have friends now in life and around me physically and on the internet that we talk about things on this level. And not too many people, it's very new for me. I used to think about things this way by myself in my mind or write it out in journals or through characters' thoughts in books. But being able to talk about things like sensing and what does that make me feel like and where did I feel it in my body and what does that mean? I can talk about that with a friend, what is this like? What's that like? And I have just loved being able to have these experiences and I want to share them with you. And I also want to hear from people who are maybe learning or skeptical or people who are into this and would like to contribute ideas for topics they'd like to discuss or any new words you have invented or thought up. Hey, always want to hear that. You can email me at psychiccatLisa@gmail.com. That's PSYCHICLISA in my name, and cat like the animal, CAT @gmail.com. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Hopefully, I will have a new podcast up in about a week, and I'll have my first guest too, if everything works out. So, thank you so much, and I can't wait to do another one. See ya. Oh, and I want to thank you, Omega. Thank you. This is a very fun thing to do.